On this week's episode of Track the House, we'll be breaking down several videos being voted on in the House of Representatives this week, including a response to the earthquake in Turkey and Syria, a bill to reduce inflation hurting the nation, a bill to inform consumers on cameras and recording for phones, a bill to better understand mobile service networks, and a bill to amend the FCC. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and like this video for more House of Representatives updates. All right, today we're looking at the bills to be considered on the House floor for the week of February 27, 2023. There are several items that will be considered under suspension of rules, and so 2 items may be considered pursuant to the rule. All right, the first thing we're looking at that they're going to be voting on is House Resolution 132, introduced by Representative Joe Wilson from South Carolina's 2nd District, and a whole lot of other people. This resolution basically just recognizes and responds to the deadly earthquake in Turkey and Syria on February 6, 2023. 7.8 earthquake struck central Turkey, followed by a magnitude 7.5 earthquake in the same day. And it really just goes to show, like, it's killed more than 36,000 people, which I believe at this time is even higher. Dangerous freezing weather conditions negatively impacted rescue efforts and put earthquake survivors at further risk after thousands of buildings collapsed. Turkey is a part of NATO, so, I mean, it's kind of a big deal in that aspect. But this is just a resolution, and that it just is them recognizing it. It's not them passing any money to go to Turkey or anything. And yeah, so next. All right, next bill on the agenda is House Bill 347. It was introduced by Representative Elise Stefanik from New York's 21st District. She's a Republican. Introduced on January 12th, 2023, is to require the Executive Office of the President to provide an inflation estimate with respect to executive orders with a significant effect on the annual gross budget and for other purposes. So, yeah, it's a bill that makes the president or the executive office come up with how their bills have affected or how their policies have affected inflation. So, like, mandatory inflation forecasting for any major executive order, the president acting through the director of Office of Management and Budget and the chair of Council of Economic Advisors shall prepare and consider a statement estimating inflationary effects of executive order, including whether executive order is determined to have no significant impact on inflation, is determined to have quantifiable inflationary impacts on the consumer price index, or determined likely to have a significant impact on inflation, but the amount cannot be determined at the time the estimate is prepared. And it's just a bill. I mean, I enjoy the bill because it's like another check and balances, so we can kind of see, like, oh, this is how they estimate, how this bill is going to affect inflation, and we can become better, voters and more informative on things. And here we have is House Bill 2059. It's kind of an odd bill. It's to authorize notaries public to perform and to establish minimum standards for electronic notarizations and remote notarizations that occur and affect state commerce, to acquire any federal court to recognize notarizations performed by a notary officer of any state. So basically, like right now, to get a notary, you have to, go somewhere. So it makes, if you have to get something notarized, you can do it remotely or through your phone or whatever. It just makes sure that the federal government recognizes those things. decent little bill. I mean, smart. It's pretty long for that. I mean, because they're changing a lot of code and like what is notarized, what is not, blah blah blah. So there's that bill. Next on the agenda, we have House Bill 1108, which is just a little one-page bill to amend the Communications Act of 1934 to extend the authority of the Federal Communications Commission to grant a license or construction permit through a system of competitive bidding. Federal Communications Commission just meaning the FCC. It's just a tiny little bill. It just changes Section 309J11 of Communication Act of 1934 is amended by striking March 9th, 2023 and inserting May 19th, 2023. Next we kind of have like a little, I like to call it a defense bill that has to do with mobile networks, so like Verizon, at&t, all those. And it was introduced by Representative Anna Eshoo from California's 16th District. It's a bill to direct the Assistant Secretary of Commerce for Communications and Information to submit a Congress a report examining for cybersecurity of mobile networks and for other purposes. So after 1 year after this is enacted, so it has to pass the House, Senate, and then be signed by the President. It will they need to submit a report on how vulnerable these companies like Verizon, at&t, T-Mobile are vulnerable to cyber attacks and surveillance conducted by adversaries. So like if China can easily hack into it and listen to our conversations, and so and then they also need to include an assessment of degree to which providers of mobile service have addressed and addressing or not addressed in cybersecurity vulnerabilities. So are they doing anything about it? If they have, what have they done? And such. Okay, here we have House Bill 538, which is a bill introduced by Representative John Curtis from Utah's 3rd District on January 26, 2023. It passed out of the Committee on Energy and Commerce, and it is to require the disclosure of a camera recording capability in certain internet-connected devices. So, it's called the Informing Consumers About Smart Devices Act. It says each manufacturer of a covered device shall disclose whether the covered device manufactured by the manufacturer contains a camera or microphone component of this covered device. You might be thinking, well, basically everything comes with a microphone and a camera now, like your phone and stuff. But in the definitions section, it says, as used in this act, the term covered device means a consumer product as defined by Section 3A of Consumer Product Safety Act that is capable of connecting to the internet, a component of which is a camera or microphone. It does not include a telephone, a laptop, tablet, or any device that a consumer would reasonably expect to have a microphone or a camera. Any device that's specifically marketed as a camera, telecommunications device, or a microphone. So it's not your phone. It's not like your Amazon Alexa or your Google Home. So it's apparently people are making these products out there that you have no idea that have a mic or a camera in it. And finally, we have a House Joint Resolution 30, which is to provide for congressional disapproval under Chapter 8 of Title 5 United States Code of the Rules submitted by the Department of Labor relating to prudence and loyalty in selecting planned investments and exercising shareholder rights. Just a joint resolution, so it's not really law. It's just saying that they disapprove of a rule submitted by the Department of Labor relating to prudence and loyalty in the selecting planned investments and exercising shareholder rights. So yeah, there's this week's bills that they're being voted on. Make sure you like this video, subscribe if you like it, and we'll be here every week that they are voting on bills, and we'll break them down, let you know, and yeah, thanks for listening.